aren't real.
All right. Stefano, we got Birds Aren't Real trying to face up against this chaos that Scoop City are bringing to the table and trying to, make something of this and maybe, even if they are winning the draft, try to win the game as well.
Yeah, you know what? And they're right off the back. They're saying showing what they didn't like. Not a big fan of the Morgana. Made that must feel good for bodybuilder having a very niche thing banned away from you. I don't, I don't know if I want to say that was the problem so much as it was getting hit
Yeah.
by everything that she threw out.
Yeah,
Um,
I wonder if Arch was just like, please, I just don't want to play against that. It's just so annoying. Maybe, maybe that's what
Fair,
he's saying. Who
honestly.
knows? But there's the Lee Sin ban as well. You can see comfort picks being banned out here, and there we go. The Holy Trinity. Look at that. Just normal competitive gameplay bans in normal league meta. Darius, Morgana, Lee Sin first round.
There you go. That's the most typical set of bands ever, with Seraphine coming out, which is the most typical band. First
Yes.
pick now for Birds Aren't Real. Um, Honestly, I would like them to stay away from picking topside. I wouldn't mind something blind mid lane as long as you can
Mm-hmm.
play it safe. They blind
Yep.
picked Piston the last time. Probably don't blind pick something else so volatile again. Hecarim would also be, I think, a great choice. Hecarim obviously super strong right now with the Chem Tank build. He runs at you, he ults, he's too tanky, he doesn't die, and he kills you for it. It is going to be picked up first, so a little bit of a different style coming out here from Birds Aren't Real. This is a more of an engage heavy, we're going to fight you now on our terms than it was last game.
Absolutely. Hecarim provides something completely different free from what Kane does. But there we go. Olaf was banned last game and now is coming through as was left open because of the focus on the Morgana and Lee Sin there. So the Kai'Sa as well coming in, made an ADC, was very good on the Kai'Sa, looking really good mechanically and able to, scale up and burst people down in the late game as Kai'Sa does. So Olaf Kai'Sa, a nice start here, and Olaf definitely can work into Hecarim. You really do have to get that balance of power farming and maybe participating in some of those early fights. But in an early game engagement 1v1 in the jungle, Olaf almost always comes out ahead.
Uh, and Aphelios picked up again, which
Mm-hmm.
leads me to believe that they're going to be going for the Thresh again. I still think it's bad. I still am not a huge fan of the Aphelios. I would have loved to see a Vayne here. Vayne does not only does it very well into Kaisa, she in a 1v1 sense, she also shreds frontline faster than you do. And when you have something like a Hecarim versus Olaf, shredding frontline is very important. But Aphelios Karma going to be the lane instead. I really like Karma in this team.
Yep.
I have a feeling that I'm blank or yeah, no gap only cap has a little bit of a crush on Aphelios.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, Hecarim Karma, uh, so far into the draft, I'm really liking.
Well, yeah, and the Karma definitely can, up against Olaf, if you're trying to go for something like the Thresh or the Alistar, it just isn't effective against Olaf's ultimate. So something like a Karma that can buff up your champions instead of disrupting theirs, you can avoid ganks that way. Alistar does come in again for Scoop City, so that's going to be uh, the same matchup there. So Kai'Sa Alistar up against Karma Aphelios in the bot lane, and we head down to the bans where Set is taken away. Top side, like you said, wasn't focused for Birds Aren't Real or for Scoop City, and so Scoop City and Dinsbag not going to be able to go on to that set this time. So we'll see what the last ban is, but Tristana was taken away, definitely recognizing that Arch could have the potential to pop off over there on that champion, as well as Oriana and Irelia finishing off for Birds Aren't Real.
All right, now it's going to be Scoop City turn for the pick. I'm imagining they pick the mid lane here to give Dinsbag the counter pick top lane.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what
Yeah,
I'm hoping Scoop City pick something that they can play safe. I would like something like an what?
Um, what is this?
Sc- Scoop Ci- Scoop City's just the weirdest team, man. I can. All right, I'm not even gonna touch that. I don't know what's happening
All
until I
right,
see
so
their fifth
we'll just
member.
forget. We'll pretend that pick isn't on screen. And
Exactly.
but we will just like for whatever reason assume that Olaf could be going top side because of what we've just seen there. Cassiopeia is picked up there, and so that's going to be on Arch. A hyper carry in the mid lane definitely can be effective there. I don't know, Stefano. We can't ignore it forever. what is going on? What does Nidalee bring to this team?
Um, a lot of question mark pings, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is Nidalee
I'm
jungling? I don't know. I mean,
I
it seems as if Olaf. Okay, so there's the Aatrox
is
picket.
it
So
middly?
mid, no way. Okay, so we saw Morgana mid, which was weird enough already, and now I guess it's mid Nidalee, which it does. I haven't seen it in years. It just makes. Oh
Season
no. Okay,
4,
so the
yeah.
Rise gets we switch over to the Rise. So actually, we could potentially see Olaf in the top lane and Nidalee in the jungle.
Yeah.
Well, how about that? I think we just have to wait and see again because this is just baffling to me.
Yeah, I certainly expect it to be that. Rise is very old and very traditionally has been a counterpick into the Cassiopeia, or not counterpick, I should say, skill matchup.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so definitely bodybuilders looking for the 1v1 here. But in terms of draft in general, I worry about Birds Aren't Real draft. They do have a nice set of frontline, but they have to be so on top of their vision because if they don't have everything worded, the ability to flank with a flat flash, Alistair pulverize with a
Mm-hmm.
Rise ult with Nidalee just being herself with the Kai'Sa with the Olaf is so high. If Scoop City can fight on their terms, they're going to win these fights, no problem. Birds Aren't Real is going to have to really work towards gaming that map control so they can pick their fights and they can engage with their strong engage tools like the Scion, like the Aggro.
All right. Well, we'll see if Birds Aren't Real can face up against a continuously confusing Scoop City, and we will find out if Scoop City do pull off the 2-0 sweep unexpectedly in week 2, or if Birds Aren't Real can take us to a game 3. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
That's
All
very
right,
well done.
welcome back. I think that I might have been a little bit behind on watching whether we were live or not, but we are live for Birds Aren't Real up against Scoop City, and I hope you're all watching those lovely replays on stream because we have been working hard. Kieran Pinello on the production has been uh, figuring out more and more magic for us every week, and we love it.
Well,
And we are here with Scoop City up against Birds Aren't Real. Now, we saw a straight up run it down mid flash last time to grab a kill. This time,
oh,
they are going to go for something, but this is a huge knockup. It only hits 2, but that is going to be first blood this time over towards Birds Aren't Real. Dinsbag, no
what?
way. He flashes in. Sorry. Oh, man. Dinsbag flashes to try to trade a kill 1-for-1, and well, just does not get the kill because he's Rise level 1, and so all he had to contribute was 1 Q or whatever he leveled. So that's going to be Birds Aren't Real with 2 kills off the hop, and also the flash from Dinsbag blown, the heal from Maiden ADC blown, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is that a barrier on Olaf?
That is, yeah, I was going to say, we didn't even have time to talk about it. They're too busy running at each other. There's a ghost barrier, Olaf mid lane.
Is is he play? No, he's got Conqueror. It's not even Spellbook, so he's
They're
running
going back.
Ghost Barrier, but here's the engage. And, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm overhyping the chaos that Dinsbag's teams bring to the table. Then I see a game like this, and I'm not hyping it enough, honestly.
Yeah.
This is just ridiculous. And here is the fight. It's just a full-out brawl for the red buff. And Birds Aren't Real are like, so are we supposed to give it now? The bodybuilding's really low again. No Cap actually flashes in and grabs a second kill onto bodybuilding, who now no longer has a barrier or ghost. Pretty normal thing for Olaf not to have in most games, but in this game, it's going to hurt him quite a lot, potentially. Jelly on the Nidalee also is going to be hurting because now you've got to start your jungle clear with less than half HP. So there we go. In true Scoop / Dinsbag fashion, we start off the game with complete just anarchy, and it is 3-0 for Birds Aren't Real in this situation.
You know, if it was any other team, I would say this game is unthrowable, but it's Scoop City here. We saw from last game, any game is throwable. They're up 2k gold at 2.5 minutes, but even
Yep.
still, all it takes is some of their patented anarchy to get it back going.
Exactly. You think we can't throw this game? You haven't seen a game thrown yet. Here's bodybuilding,
Exactly.
and here we go. So it is the mid Olaf, which is you know, not exactly what we predicted, but of course always was a possibility, and it can threaten the Cassiopeia definitely, especially in the early stages of the game, and once you hit level 6, you know, being able to avoid that crowd control definitely can be useful, and being able to burst quite a bit of damage early on. But here's Aldre hitting the cowbell here early on and trying to taunt the Birds Aren't Real bot lane, who have got 2 kills to their name, so the Aphelios definitely set up for success so far here.
Yeah, you really couldn't ask for a better lane as Aphelios. You're against an Alistair that doesn't have flash early, so you're not really all that scared of early ganks. You have 2 kills. You're up against Kaizo, who, well, yes, is strong, doesn't have as much range as you. Well, you have the sniper core active.
Mm-hmm.
All the cards are on no gap, only cap. The only issue is he doesn't have his sums, but even still, he has a karma. He can play relatively safe. Hopefully, it's going to be a lot on him to see if he can punish this a little bit hard. He should be able to convert this into 1 or 2 plates early game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if he ends up doing that. And if he's able to do that, though, it might just be a walk mid kind of game and just kill everyone.
Definitely the potential for that. Now here's Arch doing a lot of damage there to Bodybuilding, and Arch has Flash, gonna go in. There's the barrier, no way. Bodybuilding goes for this, but Arch does have the burst available. So Bodybuilding, while he had the heal and while he had the idea, does manage to go down to Arch there from the Flash from the Cassiopeia. So that's going to be a 4-0 and 2-0, two kills on each of the main carries over on the side of Birds Aren't Real. So Scoop City are definitely in a pretty heavy situation. Birds Aren't Real are going to have to throw even harder for this one.
Yeah, and it looks like Jelly is going to do the throwing roll instead as he's walking up, gets choked up by the gas. He is able to walk away, but this is a disaster for Scoop City. They do not have a lot of damage on their team. They have a Rise, and they have Isa, which is just about it, which doesn't sound too bad, but considering you have to go through a shielded up Hecarim and a Scion, the whole while you have 2 hyper carries, some of the highest DPS characters in the game hitting you. Scoop City has got to figure out a way to close this lead and close it quickly. Otherwise, they're just going to be on the tail end of an outscaling.
Jelly does have to flash away, but secures the Gromp. Doesn't feel like that big of an objective, but currently for that Nidalee it is. Now Zohair might be caught out, actually. This is a great collapse coming in from Scoop City, and Zohair just gets a little bit too aggressive, thinking he's got the advantage on Jelly, who's underleveled on the Nidalee. So there we go. A kill goes back over onto the Hecarim. Zohair just a little out of position there, and Scoop City, well, they put themselves on the board.
I can't help but feeling like in comms, Zohair was like, "Where's the Mia ping? Where's the Mia ping?" With Olaf getting it before, where our Arc is sitting in mid lane, they're able to convert that. It's 1 kill over. It does go to the Nidalee, which isn't exactly who you want it on. You really want it on something like the Rise or just Isa. But unfortunately, they weren't even there. So although the kill is nice, it's not exactly one that's going to snowball.
Yeah, exactly. Going to be a little tough there. Here comes Aldre to try to get a Kingsland away, but they are taking a lot of poke in that lane. Now Jelly once again so low on the Nidalee and having such difficulty just doing anything in this game. And this can be the problem with Nidalee. I mean, you know, it's hard to blame the champions in this situation, but here comes Bodybuilding, tries to go for this, but Arch just has too much damage and has gotten too far ahead so far in this game. Also building up
Rise
a bit of tankiness with that Kindle Gem. Here is the TP from Dinsbag, going to use that Rise ultimate as well, and here's Scion coming in, trying to help out. Zohair already has taken down Maiden ADC. Now Dinsbag trades back and does not have the flash available anymore. Now has to get back against 3 players, and so that's not going to work very well. That's double kill, actually goes over to a Kingsland. You earned it, buddy. He gets those, and here is the replay of that one, the Scion drifting into the river here.
Yeah, WQ by Aldrich is not working out. Time puts them so far behind. They do get no gap, but at that point, Dinsbag has already used his ult, his mana. Maiden AD was already dead. Just desperation coming off of every corner of Scoop City, and although it's warranted, they are in a desperate position. Not working out so far, and it's just going to put them further behind. This might just be a 15-minute speedrun.
Yeah, it definitely could be, and looks like very much feast or famine for Scoop City in general in the way they are trying to play this game. You know, with Jelly on the Nidalee instead of the Lee Sin, there just aren't those same playmaking opportunities that you've got where, and that was, you know, our analysts mentioned, that's exactly how Scoop City were able to turn the last game around. They do have Dinsbag up here, scaling up very well on the rise, but faced up against the Cassiopeia in the late game, it's not like you're out damaging Cassiopeia by any significant margin, so Scoop City definitely have an uphill battle here. Bodybuilding has come over from mid lane to maybe try to go for a dive on the Scion, but Zohair has shown up as well to help out. There's Dinsbag
Oh,
getting hit up by the
Dins.
ultimate. Nice play there by Zohair, and it is going to be the double kill for the Hecarim in the top lane. Now NoCap or Maiden ADC has to flash away, but a Kingsland walking up as well, trying to maybe protect his ADC a little bit, and looks like they're all going to walk away relatively unscathed there, but the double kill in the top lane definitely is a big deal.
Oh, no, absolutely. Zohair being ahead might just be the final nail in the coffin with that double kill. Now that they have the Scion, but having fed Hecarim now where he can't click art and just engage any fight he wants to is going to be so useful for a team that's ahead, like Birds Aren't Real.
Yeah, you saw Jelly up there trying to take out Reese's Pieces, and it looks like he might. His auto attacks
Still
are doing
going.
about as much damage as caster minions, but Jelly does manage to finally take out Reese's Pieces. Going to be punished though, as Zohair walks up into the top lane once again and trades that one out. So 11-3 here, and look at this, the ultimate coming out, and there's no ultimate available for bodybuilding, and so 12-3 now the score as Arch picks up another solo kill.
When you use that reckless swing ability, you aren't supposed to be that reckless with it. Probably just don't walk up and look at the Cassiopeia in the eyes and say, yes, I am going to get the CS. Hard punished 06. Part of me wants to say that this is just, what happens when you have a champion like Omar so focused on getting kills early game, so focused on snowballing and pushing advantage, and he gets behind. But picking him into a Cassiopeia also doesn't seem ideal. Cassiopeia has a lot of movement speed just from existing. OSIC now, and on top of the very obvious just mistakes personally that bodybuilder has been making, it's Cassiopeia being 4-0 is almost just a death sentence in any game.
Yeah, and I don't envy Captain Kang as they try to analyze this game no matter which way it goes, because barrier Ghost Olaf in mid definitely isn't something you see every day. But here he comes, and all lanes are seeing him at some point, going to try to go for the dive onto the Aphelios, but just no damage at all for the Olaf, and there's no follow-up either from his team. It's going to be the 13-3. Now, Reese's might go down here. Dinsbag is pretty low and doesn't get out of the knock-up. Just the edge of that hitbox hits him. Jelly's going to try to get this. Does have the red buff ticking over on Reese, but there's Zohair with the double kill again in the top lane. Zohair just counters that Nidalee every single time, and we got a 15-3 game on our hands. Scoop City are almost certainly dead to rights here in this game.
Yeah, what else do you do for the side of Scoop City? At this point, your only really points of shine is your bot lane that's 20 CS down in a lane that scales against them. Maybe you sit in a bush with Alistair and just pray. Other than that, with an 8k gold deficit, you're kind of just hoping they throw at Baron, or somehow all their power goes out, maybe? Maybe that's the best hope.
Maybe that's what you're hoping for at this point. So we'll see if they, see if any acts of God are on their way to help out Scoop City. But if not, it looks like we are going to game 3 almost for sure in this game, in this series. And so we have to keep, we got to play this one out though. Can't just
it is
end it right here. And of course,
it is Scoop City.
It is Scoop after all. It is Dinsbag's team. Here is more damage coming onto bodybuilding, who's going to have to run away. Arch is going to run out of mana and turns around, but not quite in time. Arch is totally out of mana now, actually, and Jelly might be able to find this as Arch has no flash there. Jelly continuing to try to go for something. Great dodge there by Arch. Is he going to be able to stay out of the range? The last auto, the last spear does finally get the shutdown, but wow, Arch played that really well to get Jelly that far under tower. Now a fight down in the bot lane. Maiden ADC has to flash away. Kingsland with the Q flash. There he comes in, and Aldre is going to go down as well. So the bot lane, like you said, maybe the shining light and getting dimmer all the time, as 19-4 is the score in the game, and 7 kills over on the bot lane of Birds Aren't Real. Definitely are putting everybody ahead here in this game.
You know, I was gonna look for like the smallest silver lining to make a joke, be like, oh, at least you know they almost have this item being complete, but there's no silver lining here.
No.
Like, it's maybe that there's a mythic on Jelly, but the
Yeah.
mythic is Night Harvester. He's
Yep.
not hard playing with Night Harvester.
Nope, nobody is, unfortunately. So here comes
Uh,
the engage, and they're just going to keep going. Scoop City trying to get something, and Kingsland actually will get shut down, so that
this is
money's going over to the
bad for
Alistar. This
Birds Are
might be a
Real.
good fight. Reese's Pieces going to go down as well, but Dinsbag gets traded away.
Oh, they're
Bodybuilding
fine.
just isn't contributing anything in these fights, unfortunately. Way too far behind on the Olaf, and that's going to be the full ace over here for the side of Birds Aren't Real.
It was a, you know, that was the best fight they realistically could have asked for. They got a pick onto the support. They were all grouped up together before the sides of Birds Unreal, but even still, just the raw stats of Birds Unreal coming in. You can't kill. It took so long to kill the Scion. The whole while the Aphelios is hitting you, the Cassiopeia is hitting you. 7-1 and 4 and 7-1-7 and 4-1 and 7 are the carries of Birds Are Real. Scoop City's just got to be praying for some miracle throw at this point.
Exactly, and yeah, even a miracle throw might not be sufficient at this point. 24-6 with a full 10k gold lead here coming in for Birds Aren't Real. Now Bodybuilding's gonna go in, try to go for something on the Olaf, but we've already seen how little damage that Olaf is doing. Dinsbag tries to fight more. Bodybuilding going for the kill on the support, but doesn't even manage to find that, and there's just absolutely nothing they can do right now. And Scoop City, well, they just keep going in, you know. And I mean, can you really blame them at this point? They just want
15
to,
seconds.
yeah, get get this one over with, and we could see the surrender coming in here potentially. So Hare's going to go on Maiden ADC, taking him down here, no problem. Legendary on the Hecarim with the Trinity Force finished. And they're going to push it right down mid. Continue to press their advantage. So yeah, this game is pretty much over. There is, you know, even with a crazy throw, there's almost nothing to be done, and you can see how Scoop City's playing. They're just kind of going in on every single fight in case Birds Aren't Real somehow make a complete mistake. But Jelly is going to go down here as well. There's no cap, taking that one down. Dinsbag steals away the red. Oh yeah, gets that one, but going to be ulted up by the Aphelios and take a lot of damage. Bodybuilding coming in. That's actually a shutdown coming in from the Rise as well, and a double kill in the end. So maybe continuing to just run at your team might be the way to go. But here's Arch doing a lot of damage here. There's Maiden ADC going in really hard. Gets the Cassiopeia away, and Reese's
Don't even
Pieces
hurt
going
Reese's
low.
Pieces.
ADC doesn't manage to get anything, and there's Dinsbag having to flash away. Walks back in though. And how could you not at this point? Tries to auto attack the blast cone and hits the tank instead. Now it's going to be 33-8 there, and yeah, you know, they do keep getting 1 or 2 kills. Rise got a double kill there, but they're just nowhere near anything resembling a chance in this game yet.
No, I mean, but see that does just go and prove that nothing is unthrowable. They were close there. They didn't quite throw the lead, but you know, no gap, only cap. I think did end up going down if I remember correctly. So
yep,
just
both the
I guess
ADC
you just have to
support did, yeah.
yeah. Just got to keep making plays and hoping for the best. I guess is all you can really do when you're this far down with this this much of a disadvantage comp wise.
Well, this is something we've talked about before, and you know, maybe some of those who maybe kept with some professional experience will be able to, or with some, you know, competitive experience, I should say, will be able to sort of bring another perspective to this. But at this point in the game, you know, I compare it to a round in Counter-Strike where it doesn't look like you have a chance to come back, where you, instead of, you know, using the round and just trying to take this like 1% chance that you might win, you instead use it as sort of a little team meeting. Like, what is our strategy for next game? How do we avoid this from happening? What kind of draft you know, adjustments can we make, or you know, how do we run at them in a different way, maybe in this case, and maybe try to sort of use this time to your advantage, even though it's not going to be a win here. You can still maybe get something out of this time that you've got with your team on the Rift.
Maybe what you do is you just try to tilt Birds on Real as much as possible.
Could be, yeah. And this, you know, that who knows? Maybe that's exactly what they're going for. Maiden ADC uses the ultimate back, Here comes Aldray trying to get some sort of and it's
They're
trying to get some sort
1v5.
of some sort of crowd control down. There is Olaf finally going in, but a triple kill here for the Hecarim. There's the flash. Oh,
Oh,
Jelly, look at that. That is
that's a
that's
chill
kind of
through, see?
nice. Getting a little bit of, a highlight play even when they're so far behind, and the shutdown for Dinsbag comes in as well. That's 1,000 gold shutdown. Jelly going to continue to be an annoyance to the team of Scoop Lord or Scoop City up down in their end of the rift. Jelly's just running past turrets.
Yeah, they end up taking a few more down. 18 minutes in. At this point, it's as actually Arch going aggressive on, but
Look at how much that miasma does, though. It's so difficult. But now Arch going to have to outplay this and is doing so much damage here. And look at how little Maiden ADC is doing. Just not able to get any damage there. Here goes Dinsbag. Does take down the ADC, but taken out by Arch, who is just absolutely huge on Cassiopeia right now. Bodybuilding's not going to get anything close to killing Arch there. And Maiden ADC can't get much damage down either, so going to have to back off. 40 kills, Stefano. 40 is the amount of kills, and there's Maiden ADC. They're about ready to pull the trigger on that FF. And it looks like that is what just happened. The forfeit comes in, and it's frozen for us, but that's what happens when a team surrenders, because that's exactly what Scoop City just did. And so they are going to be trying to regroup from that one and maybe just taking it as a mulligan. It's not going to be what they were looking for, obviously, in that game, but you've just got to brush that one off your shoulder. You have the capability to beat this team, and so that's exactly what you're going to try to do coming up in this next game.
yeah,
We're
no,
going to throw it back
absolutely.
over to the analyst desk. Pardon me, I left us all hanging there. Sorry, Stefano, you get your last word in there. We're
No,
going to
I
try and
was
get
just
this
gonna say
third game
absolutely.
started as soon as possible.
And now we're throwing it over to the analyst desk. Have fun, Darren.